My therapist says I need to forgive myself. That I did not kill Roman. That Hugo killed him. That I only sought the truth. That gathering 7 people in a lighthouse is not a crime. That I did not cause the storm. That Roman's death is not my fault. But I brought them together. I put them in that lighthouse. I wrote the invitations by hand, one by one, choosing the exact words so that each one would come. I knew Hugo was dangerous. I knew Roman was broken. I knew Lola had been on the edge of the abyss for 20 years. And I brought them together. In a lighthouse. In November. Facing the sea that swallowed my father. My therapist says that does not make me guilty. She may be right. But ask Roman. 2 months have passed. I am in Conxo. The Conxo Psychiatric Hospital, in Santiago. Not because I am insane. I am here because after the lighthouse I stopped recognizing my own reflection. I would look in the mirror and see a stranger. The doctors say it is dissociation. Post-traumatic stress. I know it is something else. I know the woman in the mirror is the one I was before I searched for the truth, and that woman no longer exists. But I am improving. Slowly. The way things that truly break improve, not by becoming what they were, but by becoming something different that still works. I eat. Not always, but I eat. I sleep. Not always, but I sleep. I translate. That, yes, always. They have let me have books and a notebook. I translate from English to Galician, which is what I do best, turning other people's words into something that sounds like home. Translating is the only thing that calms me. Because when I translate I am not Vera, the woman who organized the Lighthouse weekend. I am an intermediary between languages. Someone who listens and transforms. Someone useful. From my window I cannot see the sea. I can see trees and a piece of Galician sky that is almost always grey. But if I close my eyes, I hear it. It is not real. I know that. But I hear it. I am going to tell you what became of everyone. Because this story is not mine alone. Hugo was tried at the provincial court of A Coruña. The trial lasted 3 weeks. I testified on the first day. Inns on the second. Celia on the third. Lola on the 4th. The charges: murder of Roman Casol. Conspiracy in the sinking of the Santa Lucia. Obstruction of justice for 20 years. Destruction of evidence. The reopened shipwreck case revealed the entire chain. The tapes from the lighthouse. The documents from the bottom of the sea. The testimonies of 5 witnesses who had been locked in with him during a storm. It all fit. Everything Hugo had spent 20 years burying came to the surface, like the remains of the boat. The sea returns. It always returns. Hugo is 45 years old. The sentence was 22 years. He will be released at 6 to 7 if he is lucky. If he is lucky. I did not feel relief when I read the verdict. Nor did I feel revenge. I felt something akin to what you feel when you finish translating a very long and very difficult text, a clean exhaustion. The certainty that the work is done. Not well, not badly. Done. Inns testified against her brother. I want you to understand what that means. Inns was 29 years old and had discovered, 48 hours earlier, that she had a brother. That her father, the man whose surname she carried, whose memory she protected, whose legacy was the reason she had gone to the lighthouse, had had another family. And that the son of that other family had killed a man and helped sink a boat with 6 crew members. She testified with a steady voice. She did not cry. When the defense attorney asked her if she was aware she was testifying against her own blood, she said, "Blood does not bind me to what he did. The blood of 6 men at the bottom of the sea does." After the trial she disappeared. She changed her surname. She stopped being Sedera. I do not know what name she chose. She did not tell me. She did not have to. I learned months later, through Celia, that she had gone to Portugal. To the Algarve. Far from the North Atlantic, far from the Costa da Morte, far from the cliffs and the lighthouses. She sought a warmer sea. I do not blame her. Her documentary about lighthouses was never finished. But before disappearing, she sent a copy of the lighthouse tapes to the courts, to the Santiago newspaper, and to the families of the 6 crew members. She made sure the truth did not depend on a single person. That it could not be lost to the wind, like my folder. INS understood something it took me 20 years to learn: the truth is not kept. It is released. Celia Bravo, 67 years old, retired forensic psychologist, testified voluntarily. She did not have to. No one forced her. She could have claimed the statute of limitations, or lack of evidence, or the weight of the years. But she appeared at the courthouse in a grey suit, her back straight, and a new report, the real one, the one she should have written 20 years earlier, detailing exactly how and why the original report had been manipulated. Who commissioned it? How much they paid her? And how that false report had closed the door to any claim by the families. Her testimony was key to reopening the original forensic case. 6 families that for 20 years had received no answers finally got them. Not all the answers they deserved, but enough to bury their dead with the truth. Celia offered to advise those families free of charge. She is 67 and works harder than ever. But she works differently. She works for the people she should have defended the first time. She wrote me a letter 3 weeks ago. Short. In her neat psychologist's hand. It said, "For the first time in 20 years I sleep without pills. I do not know if it is conscience or exhaustion. But I sleep." Martin started cooking again. He did not open another restaurant. He did not chase another Michelin star. He did not return to that world of white tablecloths and wine lists and critics who show up unannounced. That Martin stayed behind in the lighthouse, alongside the remains of a father who was not who he believed. The Martin who came down from the lighthouse cooks at a soup kitchen in Vigo. Every day, for 120 people. Soups, stews, freshly baked bread. He cooks the way he used to cook with his father when he was a boy, without a recipe, without measurements, with his hands. He carries Zoe's letter with him. The one we found on the beach, in the metal box, among the shipowner's documents. Tomorrow I am going to do the right thing. He reads it every night before sleep. I do not know if the letter gives him peace or gives him pain. Probably both. But he carries it with him the way Lola carried the 6 marks in the basement, as proof that someone tried, even if it was too late. Martin has made peace with an imperfect man. With a father who was a smuggler and who was a coward and who in the end, on the last night of his life, decided he wanted to be something else. He did not succeed. He died before he could speak. But the intention was left written on a piece of paper that survived 20 years underwater. Sometimes intention is all we have left of the people we love. And sometimes it is enough. Lola left the lighthouse. I need you to understand what that sentence means. Lola Weiler had not crossed the lighthouse door in 20 years. 20 years. 7,300 days waking in the same stone tower, looking at the same stretch of Atlantic, turning on the same light every night at 10. Not out of obligation. Out of penance. Because one night she turned off that light for 47 minutes and 6 men died. 20 years in a prison she imposed on herself. Without a judge. Without a sentence. Without a release date. Until now. She went down to the village the day after the Guardia Civil collected us. She went down the cliff path, the same one we had taken to reach the beach, but she kept going. All the way down. To Finis Terrae. To the street where her son lived. Braze is 23. He is an electrician. He lives alone in a small flat overlooking the harbor. He grew up thinking his mother simply loved the lighthouse, that she was an eccentric woman who preferred solitude to the village. He never asked too many questions. The sons of Galicia learn early that there are questions you do not ask. Lola told him the truth. All of it. She sat across from him in the kitchen of his flat and told him that one night, when he was 3 years old, they threatened to kill him if she did not turn off the lighthouse. And that she turned off the lighthouse. And that 6 men died. I imagine the silence after those words. A silence larger than the storm. Braze looked at her. He stood up. And he embraced her. I would have done the same, he said. 4 words. The only ones a mother needed to hear after 20 years. Lola lives with Braze now, in Finis Terrae. She has a small room with a view of the harbor. She cooks. She takes walks. She talks with the neighbors who barely recognize her anymore. She is learning how to be a person who does not live in a lighthouse. But every night, at 10, she steps out onto the balcony. She looks toward the cliff. And she makes sure the light is still on. Some habits are not lost. Some vigils do not end. They simply change shape. And me. I am here. In Conxo. With my books and my notebook and my window without sea. I have been here 2 months. I am improving, they say. And it may be true. I have stopped searching for my reflection in the glass. I have stopped counting the marks on the walls, the way Lola used to. I have stopped dreaming of the lighthouse lantern and of Roman's dead face against the window. I translate. I read. I talk to my therapist on Tuesdays and Fridays. I tell her everything. Or almost everything. There are things that cannot be translated into clinical language. There are things only understood by people who have watched the sea waiting for it to return someone to them. One day, a Tuesday, I think, or a Wednesday, the days here look very alike. The nurse brought a letter with my breakfast tray. There was no return address. Only my name, Vera Dovell. Written by hand. Inside there was a photograph. It was not old. It was not of a fishing boat or a court file. It was new, recent. The lighthouse at Finis Terrae at dawn, with the sea in calm. A blue-grey sea, without foam, without waves, smooth as glass. And the lighthouse lit against the clear sky. Not threatening. Not sinister. Just a lighthouse. Doing what lighthouses do, illuminating. I turned it over. On the back, a single line written by hand. In handwriting I recognized instantly. A round, tight hand, the hand of a woman who learned to write in a coastal village where hands are used for more things than holding a pen. The sea has returned everything. Now it is your turn to come back. It bore no signature. It did not need one. It was Lola's handwriting. I stared at the photograph for a long time. I do not know how long. Time in hospitals is different. It stretches and contracts without warning, like the tide. I put the photo on the wall, beside the window. Beside the piece of grey sky that is all I can see from my bed. Now, when I look out the window, I also see the lighthouse. And the sea in calm. My name is Vera Dovell. I am a translator. My father was a Morro Dovell, captain of the Santa Lucia. He died on November 15th, 20 years ago, because he tried to do the right thing. For 20 years I searched for the truth. I found it in a lighthouse at the end of the world, during a storm that refused to end, among 7 people who refused to speak. The truth did not bring my father back. It did not heal Lola. It did not save Roman. It did not unite Inns with a brother she did not deserve. But the sea is calm. And I, for the first time in 20 years, have no question left to ask it. The lighthouse at Finis Terrae is still lit. Every night, at 10, its light turns over the Atlantic. Ships see it from 30 miles. The fishermen call it O'Olo, the eye. They say it never blinks. They say it watches. But the old men in the village tell a different story. They say that on some nights, when the storm is very strong and the sea roars like something alive, the light goes out. Just for a moment. Less than a minute. And then it comes back. No one knows why. But the mothers of Finis Terrae, when they see the light go out, hold their children a little tighter. Thank you for listening to The Lighthouse at the End of the World. This has been the story of Vera, of Lola, of Ins, of Martin, of Celia, of Roman, and of Hugo. And of 6 men the sea took on a November night 20 years ago. If you have made it this far, you are already part of this story. You are already a witness. If you enjoyed it, subscribe to Ink and Stone. There are more stories waiting. Stories that need to be told. Stories that need someone to listen. See you next time. May the sea be calm.